Hey, it's your boy Sebastian back with another video, continuing the 31 Days to a Better Metal Mix series that we got here. And today I'm going to show you guys how I EQ my guitars for aggression and biting. Now, a common problem that a lot of people have is that their guitars on solo sound great, maybe a little dark or a little muddy, but once they pop them in the mix, they kind of get really lost. And so there's some certain moves that I tend to notice I do a lot on my guitars to kind of have them push through the mix, get that edge, and kind of get that high-end grit to them that I love hearing in metal mixes. And let's check out the tone I have without any EQ. So not bad at all. It's a very usable tone, but it's lacking that aggression and bite that I was mentioning earlier, and it's a little bit muddy in certain areas. So let me pull up my SSL channel strip and show you the EQ moves that I have done so get that aggression and bite. So I have very specific moves on this SSL EQ to get that bite and edge that I'm looking for. So first things first, I am cutting out everything below 80 Hertz. This is so that it doesn't conflict with my kick drum or my bass. And then I'm shaving everything off 12 kilohertz and above so that I can leave room for my cymbals and the air of the vocal tracks. From there, I'm boosting about 7.5K or around 8K, around 4.2 dB, 2.5K, which is extremely common for me. I'm always boosting that around 4.2 dB, and I am reducing everything below 200 Hertz by about a dB. Here is the EQ engaged. Let's check that out and see how that sounds. If I was to turn that EQ off, it would sound extremely muddy. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of how the EQ settings sound. So now I'm going to zero everything out, and I'm going to do this in real time for you because honestly, the only way this is going to work is if you EQ these guitars in the context of the mix. Never do this in solo. You're not going to know whether your moves that you're doing are going to be what your mix needs. If you do it in context, however, it's really going to give you an idea as to what those moves are doing and in relationship with everything else. Okay, so I did this in real time. I actually decided to take out the low cut here that I had around 200 Hertz and leave that in. I found out that if I take it out, it sounds a little too thin for my liking. So let's check out a different section with a lot of palm mutes here. Yeah, see, that low cut at a dB around 200 Hertz is it's cutting out too much low end and the grunt of the guitar disappears. Now, if a guitar still sounds too boomy, I do suggest putting that in there. I like to use low shelves, so everything below that just kind of gets brought down a little bit versus a cut, like a cut that's a bell curve and it just cuts down those boomy frequencies. So that's pretty much it for how I would EQ metal guitars in the context of a mix. Remember, 8K for some high end, 2.5K for some mid-range bite, and anything below 200 hertz, you can kind of low shelf out about 1 to 2 dB. Sometimes you will need to cut around 1,000 or even a little bit lower, around 700, about a dB with a wide bell curve if it's conflicting with your vocals or kind of having more of that papery sound. But in this case, we're not having that issue with these particular guitars. So if you found this video helpful or useful, give it a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps me more than you know. And stick around for the next tip where we continue the series for 31 days to a better metal mix.